Hello, and welcome to another Panthers esports movie commentary.
Yay!
Whee! Your host, as usual, Gage, and joining me today are...
Katrina!
And Lucas.
The usual crew for these. At this point, it's highly doubtful we're ever going to get anybody else on this rate, because Alex doesn't want to be here, and everyone else is just busy. But still, we're back for another movie, and today's movie is... Katrina, if you would like to roll us in, as you're the one who has seen this movie the most.
Detective Pikachu!
So, Lucas, you have not seen this movie.
I have not.
And I only watched it once when it came out in Redbox. And I remember,
I love this movie.
I remember most of it, but I'm pretty sure there'll be parts I don't remember. I remember enjoying it. Like, it was back when I still wasn't a massive Pokemon fan. Even today, I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but I'm more of a fan now than I was then.
I'm the hugest Pokemon nerd in this group.
We know. If early podcast episodes didn't teach us that. We literally had to name an episode We Can't Stop Talking About Pokemon, and it was 45 minutes of you and I going back. Not even just about Pokemon in general, specifically the main characters of the anime series.
Hey, you're the one who brought the topic up.
I also said that night I was going to go home and watch Indigo League. I've yet to touch any Pokemon. Since that conversation, I haven't even played Violet since we had the conversation. It's I'm sick. It's I need Pokemon. I need distance. And here I am crawling back, like the man kicked out of the house for the ex-wife.
There's supposed to be a DLC coming out.
I just got real dark real quick.
I've heard worse.
I've said worse, but for Pokemon, I went real dark real quick.
Yo, Pokemon's already dark with all the Pokedex entries.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
Yeah, I mean, Phantump is literally the ghost of a dead child.
People once point out the fact that Paris and Parasect are basically the clickers of Pokemon because they're mushroom zombies of Pokemon. So it's like Last of Us.
Oh yeah, when Paris evolves into Parasect, it literally loses all consciousness, and the mushroom itself becomes the Pokemon.
I remember I watched a video of people saying, what Pokemon would you kill? It was a Smosh Games video, and do you know Smosh Games at all?
I've heard of them. I don't think I've seen that video.
Well, one of the dudes, Laser Corner, was like, if I had to kill one, it would be Parasect because they're mushroom zombies. They're the clickers of Pokemon. It's like Last of Us. It goes on this long tangent about wanting to stop the Pokemon zombie apocalypse, so just kill Paris and Parasect. I thought that was funny. But so yeah, for once, the main knowledge of the movie we're watching doesn't go to me. This is the first one where I may be host, and I may have seen this movie, but I'm not the top expert in it now. That'll all change next time when we either watch Star Wars or Into the Spider-Verse. I'm still waiting for feedback from that. But for now, for this round, the main knowledge is Katrina as the Pokemon expert.
Yeah, I'm even certified as a Pokemon TCG judge.
Yeah, so she'll have more Pokemon knowledge to add on. I still have the IMDb trivia list up on the side for me for movie trivia and stuff like that. I'll probably have a few Pokemon things to say, but in terms of general Pokemon knowledge, probably go more to Katrina on this one.
Yeah, I'll leave the movie trivia to you.
Lucas, how big of a Pokemon fan are you?
Yeah, my first foray into Pokemon was with the anime early on, but my first game was probably Leaf Green for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I haven't been too much Pokemon. In fact, when I was younger, I didn't really like it. Whenever it came on TV, I was like, please put on something else. No, I'm just an average fan. I played most of the way through Fire Red, up until you have Snorlax blocking you on the bridge. I got so annoyed I didn't know how to get past him.
You gotta find the Pokeflute.
Yeah, there's a long process of Google. It's how do I get where?
I believe you got that from Pokemon Tower.
Yeah, it was something like that, but then I couldn't even figure out how to get to the town where that's in Lavender Town, I think it was. I don't know how to get to Lavender Town. It's go through the Diglett Cave.
Go through the tunnel.
It's go through the Diglett Cave. Which one's the Diglett Cave? There's 5 caves on my way here.
Well, the first one you'd probably pass through was Mount Moon. That's obviously the wrong one.
But, so I'm more of a casual Pokemon person. I watched a little bits of the anime here and there.
It's the cave with all the Diglets in it.
I'll be honest, I actually ended up preferring the Pokemon movies over the Pokemon series. Just because it was more.
Yeah, to be fair, I absolutely love the movies.
It's I remember back in Missouri in Springfield, we had this place called Family Video, and they would always have for younger kids 4 or 5 shelves of movies that you can just rent for free. And one of the ones that was always on there was the black and white Genesect movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I remember I rented that one a lot, and then I bought a 3 or 4 movie feature of the Pokemon ones. And the only one I've watched on there because I've yet to get back to watch the others. I watched the Latios movie. I've seen that 4 times.
I have watched Pokemon, the first movie, the one with Mew versus Mewtwo.
Yeah, with Mewtwo, and you know what? I'll probably know you this one. I've never seen that movie. I know the entire story, which is probably one reason I haven't sat down to watch it. But
we won't be spoiling this.
Knowing the story is very different from watching it. You have to watch it. It brings tears to your eyes.
I'll probably still watch it. It's like the one where Ash just dies, right?
He doesn't die. He gets turned to stone.
Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of. I think I'm thinking of I Choose You, the one where he just straight up dies. And then you hear Pikachu talk. That's
I think that's one of the newer Pokemon
I think
movies.
that was the last Pokemon movie. It came out before Sun and Moon came out, but then I don't think there are any more movies from Sun and Moon until Ash was done with his.
Yeah, the only movies I've seen were actually just the first 3.
I think I haven't seen the original. I think Latios was the next movie after that, so I've seen that.
I think that movie is not technically considered canon.
The original or Genesect?
The one that you're talking about where...
Latios and Latios?
Where he can understand... Where Ash dies and can understand...
I Choose You, that's canon. I haven't seen it. I literally just watched Ash's death scene, Pikachu crying and talking. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to watch this. It's not the weirdest thing in Pokemon. We talk about this in the podcast, Latias, meeting tongues with Ash towards the end of a movie. That's the weird one, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our Pokemon episode, but that's what it is.
And you haven't played Legends Arceus yet, haven't you?
Nope. I want to get all the ones on Switch. I want to get Sword, Shield. I want to get Scarlet because I have Violet, and I want
Legends
Arceus.
I'm going to warn you, it kind of drags on a bit.
I've heard it is, but I know it's also not like a normal main Pokemon game either.
Yeah, it's completely different from the normal Pokemon game.
Apparently still better than Scarlet and Violet, but you know what? It's Pokemon. I see it as all the same thing. So, same thing with nuances. It's Violet didn't keep me interested enough. It's they had the whole open world bit, which isn't really my cup of tea. But then it's the combat isn't super fun for me, I guess. It's I get the point is to constantly fight Pokemon, capture Pokemon. It feels like every 5 feet something else is stopping me, and it doesn't let me explore the world very well, which is something that annoys me.
Well, in Legends Arceus, you also have to watch out for the Pokemon, because if you aren't careful, they will attack you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's it feels like everything is stopping you every other 5 feet. It's if I want to be an open world game, I want the chance to actually be able to roam around a bit and explore. But anytime I go 5 feet in one direction, it's a new Pokemon stopped you, or this trainer is stopping you, or here's this random event, and let's do that crystallized mechanic that no one likes. It's
yeah, at least in Legends Arceus, you don't have the trainers, but there's a lot more Pokemon encounters.
Yeah, you go hunting for some Ponyta, and then suddenly you're hit by a giant level 60 Rapidash, and you're still from the first area.
Oh yeah, I remember I was on my way to a different event, and then it's a level 15 oddish. And then I go to over to I do one turn of the path to a bridge, and here's a level 55 Scyther. I'm okay, I'm not going this way.
I have to say that my favorite of the giant Pokemon was the Baneri.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the giant Lopunny.
I'm confused.
No, I caught a giant Baneri.
Huh.
I feel like this is starting into a podcast and not a movie commentary. Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
I
love it.
Which is itself based on a game, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of the actual plot it shares with the game.
It's actually, there's quite a bit that the plot shares with the game. Obviously, there's some discrepancies because you aren't it's different when you're the character interacting.
Yeah, it's this is video game adaptation, but not in the sense of Pokemon, where it just means general Pokemon. This is based on a very particular Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's more the plot of the movie is more if you decided to speed run the Detective Pikachu game.
I don't feel like the plot of the movie itself is sped run. I feel like it had a good pace.
No, but it's if you...
They altered the pace of the story for a movie, and I think it worked
well.
I love how I dance around, we're trying not to directly spoil anything from Lucas either. So imagine if I go down some of the trivia, there's some things I'm not going to be able to say.
Yeah.
Because of the development of the movie. But with that being said, I think we're already about 10 minutes into this commentary and have not started the movie yet.
Okay.
Dear God, time has flown.
Yeah, let's start the movie.
But so we are at the very last frame of the Legendary Pictures logo, getting ready to go into the Pokemon logo. So, so if anyone wants to get their set up before I press play, as people know, we can't show a full movie on YouTube, and we wanted to be able to like give our full thoughts on anything like throughout the process. So instead of trying to do like reaction videos or something like that, we figured commentaries would kind of work better. So we just say, hey, this is like time the movie sync up with us with your own copy if you want to just have us go on. Sometimes we get quiet. Like I just finished editing the Mario one. There were some very long moments of quiet in there. And my first instinct was cut out silence because of my normal habits of editing. But then I'm like, oh no, it's a movie commentary. It needs to be synced up. So we for Mario, we had some long periods of silence. But I feel like for our Sonic and Ruby ones, we're doing good. I'm still editing the Ruby one.
Yeah, and
by the time this comes out, the first Ruby one should be out.
I feel like in the beginning we can kind of excuse that because we're still like
we can also
we
can also excuse the Mario movie for being the Mario movie.
Yeah.
It's like the Sonic one, we kind of kept an even pace between conversations and the movie. Mario is just, why are we here? It's literally red versus blue. You ever wonder why we're here? No, I don't ever f***ing wonder that question.
We are simply here just to suffer.
Which that's something else we need to do. Maybe alongside Ruby, do red versus blue. And we can do like they're only like especially early on, so like hour and a half season. So it's basically a movie commentary. We can do full season red versus blue in one session.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go and start the movie. Like I said, we're in a black frame between Legendary Pictures logo and the Pokemon Company logo. So if you have yourself synced up, we're going to press play in 3, 2, 1, play. It's not playing audio, is it?
No, it's playing audio.
It's only at 71% volume, though.
What's up?
Well, and also we're at a point where there's not really any sound.
I could have sworn it's playing sound before as well.
Well, there's usually not sound during the
Yeah,
credits
there's not
option.
usually sound during the intro credits. Now there should be sound.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear the crickets.
The ominous music.
That's not a cricket.
Yeah. Well,
That's a cricketune.
Cricket tune.
technicalities. Mewtwo.
Oh, I forgot we go right in the bat with this.
Yeah.
Back to the first movie.
Right.
It is kind of mixed plots, doesn't it? It's kind of mixed between the original movie and the Detective Pikachu game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, every Pokemon in this movie looks amazing. Like, I don't think there are any misses with how a Pokemon looks.
Yeah, they did really well in the... It is kind of creepy how real life they are, though.
I feel like we're getting better about that. When we're doing like cartoony movies about cartoony video game characters, we don't need to make it a cartoon movie anymore because we're starting to find that middle ground. Like they did it with Sonic. They did it really well with Sonic. They did it really well with this before that.
I love the fact that he's just this streak.
He's just like this flying light in the air.
Yeah.
That just seemed a bit odd.
It's just some odd throw in at the start.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know who was in the car. We don't know why Mewtwo knows who's in the car.
It's a mystery. You forget this is a detective movie.
And that's a Pidgeot.
Ah, Pidgeotto.
Fuck my headphones.
Not a Pidgeot. Pidgeotto.
Also, sorry to anyone listening. I have massively bad allergies right now, so if you hear me like blowing my nose or anything in the background, it's that.
Usually the flocks only have one.
I may have to like
Pidgeot.
mute my mic anytime I like try and blow my nose. The Cubone. This was the earliest scene I remembered. I didn't remember like the actual like car chase towards the beginning.
Sounds like he's trying.
Also, Justice Smith. I believe this was his first major movie. Was this? and then he was in Bumblebee, and then now he's in Dungeons and Dragons. Not to sound racist, is that the bus driver from Deadpool? I don't mean that as like an Indian like racist
You mean
thing.
the car driver?
No, he's a cab driver.
Yeah, you said bus.
No, it's a cab driver.
No, you said bus.
I could have sworn I said cab.
No, you said bus driver.
I could have sworn I said cab.
Those allergies must be doing more than just your sinuses.
I'm also very tired. But yes, is it the cab driver from Deadpool?
I don't recall.
I could have sworn it is. I've seen him in more than that too.
It's a shiny.
I think he was also in that movie. Do you guys know that movie Stuber with Dave Bautista? Where it's like Dave Bautista's a mercenary, then he finds like the cab. He's another cab dude. He's like an Uber driver, and you got sucked into like the assassination plot or whatever.
No clue.
I think that was coming around this time too.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing people point out in this movie is that animators for the Pokemon would always also include like mannerisms and stuff mentioned in Pokedex entries, so they tried to be as accurate as possible. Neckerman. It doesn't look bad capturing too, as opposed to like in the anime where it's just like red energy.
He thinks he's got it.
Yeah, it does the wobble. Run! It's coming to get you.
Bone Club.
He's running away from the little short lizard.
Ooh, boomerang.
Little angry Cubone reminds me of my mom.
So these are not students, but
Yeah,
office workers.
They're younger guys. Just not, quote unquote 10 years old. I say because Ash was 10 for 30 years.
Well, I said he was getting a promotion at his job, so.
Yeah, they're younger, but they're not, Ash young. Also, I tried to look up before. I don't think I remember what I found. I know Rhyme City's like in the Detective Pikachu game. Has it been in any other like main Pokemon games, Rhyme City?
No.
I remember looking up like how many games was it in besides Detective Pikachu. Like what region is it in? Based on the Pokemon I see, I imagine it has to be like a Gen 3 region. At least around that, because I know not all the Pokemon here are Gen 1.
Lick a tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, his mouth is open too. Oh. The suction cup at the end. The noises is making. Sounds like he sounds like Gollum choking.
Charmander.
Squirtle. Squirtle. Who'd you say was best starter, Katrina? Out of Gen 1?
Bulbasaur.
That was yours?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get you in the footage, so Squirtle's better. That is straight up red. Like, that's meant to be red, right?
Never heard of him.
Totodile. I love how most of my Pokemon knowledge comes from like the first three to four generations. I know absolutely nothing past that. Except like a couple new ones in Scarlet Violet, which is Gen 9, right?
I really like how they have those like stone carvings in the background of the interview place with the Pokemon on it.
Yeah.
That's like a callback to the first episode of Pokemon where Ash points at a stone picture and says, "I saw that Pokemon." Yeah, see? Bulbasaur is in there.
Yeah, I'm saying the
Oh,
footage.
Sneasel.
I'm saying the footage before it showed Charmander and Squirtle, and then not Bulbasaur. He was only the cave painting after that, but he wasn't in the actual footage.
Yep.
Braviary. I could name every single one of these.
Snorlax,
That Snorlax is a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Audino.
and then Machoke is like a traffic guard.
Machamp.
Oh yeah, Machamp's the bigger one.
Pancham. Careful. Those things are fighting types.
Oh, what's like the big grizzly bear Ursaring?
No, that wasn't that one. It was
No,
the evolved form
no.
of
I'm
Pancham.
saying what is the big grizzly one? Ursaring, is that it?
Ursaring,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a scary one. I just thought that sign said I'm
Jeez,
HBO
both.
Max.
Oh,
Growlithe.
Growlithe.
With the
And
police force.
Arcanines as well.
Arcanines, I think, are my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, and they had Golurk.
I think Squirtle's my favorite starter, but my favorite Pokemon is a Growlithe. Snubble.
Snub.
Just staring. It's like the mean old secretary and like anywhere you go. I forget this actor's name. He was in Godzilla King of the Monsters. He was in I'm blanking on what else I've seen him in now. Just keeps crawling. Immediately snarls at him. Like, yeah, keep
Don't
talking.
call me adorable.
Well, it is a fairy type.
It turns purple in its evolution.
Grand Bull.
I think Granbull's still pink.
No, it's
No,
purple.
Grand Bull does have a slight color change to it.
Like, I'm pretty sure this was Justice Smith's first big movie, and like he's a pretty good actor for it just being, you know, a Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
It's like there are other bigger names attached to this, but he plays his role well.
He does. I don't even mind that he looks nothing like the in-game character.
I think it's supposed to be. I think if they're just adapting the story, it's not meant to be, you know, the game 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to keep taking your napkins to stop my runny nose. All right, I need something to shove up there. That came out wrong. That's what I do. This is what I do with nosebleeds too. I like rip off a piece of like a tissue or toilet paper or something, and just keep it in there to stop it from flowing down. And I'll change it out when it gets like soaked.
That was a little electric spider one.
I forget what it's called.
Joltik.
Joltik, is that it?
Yeah, he was on the mailbox.
Eye palms. I hate eye
Little
palms.
tiny.
I hate eye palms so much.
Rufflet. Like I told you, I can
Is
name
that Charizard?
every
That's a
single...
Charizard in the back.
What's
no,
the
that...
the little lizard dude? The little one that's just right there.
Psyduck.
And then you have I think it's a Hoot Hoot on the side above it, or the evolution of one at least. I forget which one is Hoot Hoot, the original and the evolution.
Noctowl is the evolution.
Noctowl, that's what it was. There's a Noctowl like neon sign above it.
Chico?
That's what it is. Trico. And the CGI doesn't miss in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell it's not real, but it does look like it's there.
Uh-huh.
That's very hard for CGI to do. The only other times I feel like that is in the Star Wars prequels, which were like heavy CGI, but everything, I feel like that helped because everything was CGI, so they definitely look like they belong there. I recognize this girl too, but I can't place her from anything else off the top of my head. Speaking of the Pokemon designs, when they were looking for like designers to me were looking at like actual like fan art, realistic designs for Pokemon, and they were very impressed with one particular by a guy named R.J. Palmer, and so they liked his like realistic design so much they hired just that random dude to be a concept artist for the movie.
Well, when Psyduck usually aren't seen as very smart,
No, not really.
mostly because of their chronic headache.
Yeah.
That Psyduck didn't look like he was suffering from a headache.
Also, I do believe that this movie takes the place of the game to be canon to the game world.
Yeah.
I believe it's supposed to take place 20 years after Pokemon Red.
Hmm.
Harry Goodman.
Mm-hmm. Ancient Mew.
Oh yeah, this whole thing. I forgot about this part of it.
Yeah, plot line. And then it starts affecting the APOM.
This just gives me another reason to hate IPOM. I already hate them, and now I hate them more.
Ambipom.
Proper disposal of your unusual substance, please.
Straight in the trash.
That's not how you handle chemical substances.
So one reason they looked at Justice Smith for the role in this movie is because he was previously in a movie called Paper Towns in 2015, and his character in that movie, his character and his co-star, I believe, sang the Pokemon theme song. And Justice Smith was actually the first cast member cast. They cast him first before anything else.
Articuno versus Steelix.
Yeah, like Pokemon, real life Pokemon championships. It makes me think of that game Pokken. I know. It should like break the main games, but whenever I think of, like championship stuff, I immediately think of Pokken because it's like a direct Pokemon fighting game.
Sadly, Pokemon ain't doing too well now.
I played it a little bit. I thought it was all right. There's something different.
Yeah, but I think they tried to put it too much like Tekken.
I think that's the point, though. Like it's even called Pokken. I think for what it was, it worked. Get her.
That's a what?
Sprain. I remember everyone's reaction to hearing Ryan Reynolds as the Pikachu, and that it was great.
The stapler.
I will electrocute you. It's like everyone talking about Chris Pratt being Mario. The same buzz went around with Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, and everyone forgot about it. Ryan Reynolds is great as Pikachu in the movie.
Yeah.
And actually,
Not the knife.
an initial petition was made to have Danny DeVito be Pikachu. This is why I hate IPOM.
It's almost like a zombie virus.
Yeah.
And they had to deal with the monkeys.
You'll find out why
Monkey.
later.
I can't unhear that now after Mario. Monkey.
That's terrifying.
All the sounds are the same too. Man is dying. He's not doing anything.
Uh-oh.
At least it isn't as bad as it's seen in Transformers.
Put your pants back on.
Do you remember this? They did it twice in the original Transformers, where they initially had Sam like drop his pants when Frenzy was attacking, and then they had the Sector 7 dude do it too. And they did it
took
anyway.
your pants.
They did it anyway. God damn it!
Yes, they did.
I thought we were past the late 2000s.
Uh-oh.
Dude comes up running his underwear to my friend at Pokemon. What do you do?
Oh, I forgot. This scene was so cringe.
This is painful. I feel like it'd be more awkward if they chose a younger actor. Only he hears Ryan Reynolds.
Is that an artillery making ramen?
Is the what?
Artillery in the back making ramen. Ooh, Arcanine.
Hey, yo. Speaking of Arcanine, he was actually going to be Tim's original Pokemon for the movie. They were going to have him be like a trainer, but they changed the story up and I just had him with Pikachu.
That's one thing that changed is that in the games, Pikachu was only introduced to coffee when we introduced him to coffee.
Yeah, he has the coffee addiction in this movie. Does he have it in the game too?
He gets addicted once we give him his first taste of coffee.
They just keep putting people to sleep. Love how they do like give him the dirty look beforehand, and then as soon as he rings at the phone, that's when he gives him like a full smile.
Ludicolo.
I just realized his phone is a Nintendo Switch. I just realized his phone is supposed to be a Nintendo Switch.
I see that now.
I don't know why I didn't notice it before. It's weird how well Ryan Reynolds' voice fits with this. It's still open.
Pikachu used toe whip.
Better than Iron Tail. He would hurt real bad for Iron Tail. Anytime I see the city at night, all I get is Blade Runner vibes.
Does the talking Meowth make an appearance in this movie?
No.
No.
That's tough.
That would have been great. Having Jesse James and Meowth. But this takes place in the game universe, not the anime universe.
Yeah.
Jesse James and Meowth were in, I believe, Pokemon Yellow.
In fact, Mewtwo being in the tank in this movie isn't him being recreated. It's him being recaptured, and then he breaks out again. Sleep on the stove. Also, the Pikachu has a white this is again the trivia I'm reading. The Pikachu has a white underbelly, which has only been existent in his concept art before Red and Blue came out.
Huh.
That was funny.
You can make me into a lampshade? Oh, I might.
They're the banter between these two.
It bounces off really well.
Yes, it is immaculate. He shut him into the room. He can't open the door by himself, so he's
I
stuck in the room.
can't reach the handle.
He's stuck in that room until he lets him out.
Did you know the original Pokemon mascot was not Pikachu, but actually Clefairy?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
Originally, Clefairy was supposed to be, I guess, the original Ash's first Pokemon, but it was also supposed to be able to talk, and apparently it sounded like a 45-year-old man.
Well, that kind of lines up with this Pikachu, does it not? That delivery. Smell my finger.
Rocket Juice?
Rocket juice.
Art is... He's close.
You can't feed his caffeine addiction.
He's looking for one to drink. I'm going to this again. The dude in the diner that the Jigglypuff put to sleep. That's Phil Collins.
The unconscious one?
Yeah, the one that Jigglypuff put to sleep, and she got really mad at for like making go to sleep. That's Phil Collins that fell asleep. 100,000 steps this hour. I cannot imagine.
Sorry.
So other people who were lined up to be Pikachu were Dwayne Johnson, Mark Wahlberg, and Hugh Jackman.
Dwayne Johnson.
I cannot imagine Dwayne Johnson as a tiny ass Pikachu.
Honestly, I can see him as a Machoke.
I love that Loudred is the one in charge of the microphone.
Well, master of sound.
I start from the actor's name again. Bill Nye, who's playing like the CEO here. The only experience he had with Pokemon beforehand was a little bit of the card game Pokemon Go. But after working on the movie, he became a massive fan of Pokemon.
Bill Nye?
Bill Nye.
The science guy?
No.
Aw.
Nye. Nighy.
Ah.
The main CEO dude. He like knew Pokemon because the card game Pokemon Go, and that was it beforehand. But then after going through like filming the movie, he became like a bigger fan of Pokemon. I imagine some people have that. Like if you're working on adaptive work, you know nothing but the adaptive work, you might become a fan of it afterwards. And then I feel like the flip is true as well. If you're a massive fan, like working the movie might ruin it for you. That's what they had with like some Harry Potter. So like Rupert Grint, after working on Harry Potter, he used to be a Harry Potter fan. They stopped being a fan after working on the movie. So he's like, I don't want to look at it again.
There's a slacking.
Emma Watson still loves Harry Potter. Rupert Grint kind of like fell off.
Slacking, just sleeping in the background against the boxes.
It does like the same like rabid sound all the Pokemon have this time.
No, that was just rabbit.
When it snores.
Hey, he's got his coffee.
Starts kicking his leg.
What happened?
Fun fact, this is also the first PG Pokemon film. The rest have been rated G. This is the first PG Pokemon film.
But does that mean Ryan Reynolds has a chance for the F word?
That's PG-13. This is just PG.
Aw.
The rest of Pokemon movies were just G, I believe.
The Psyduck being completely freaked out.
I was going to say that Ryan Reynolds made the joke for me. Remember what we said about Mario last time? PG lines are implications.
Yeah.
We need to like write that down, make that our motto for anything we watch. PG lines are implications.
He's got sticky notes stuck to his jacket.
Shoulder saddle.
Was that a spinner rack?
Rat-a-tat.
So for Rhyme City, they constructed everything to look like a mix between London and Tokyo. Was like their visual goal for Rhyme City. Here we are.
Mr. Mime.
Oh, I loved this scene.
He's not moving. The sound effects. This interrogation scene was inspired by Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Gas.
All the sound effects. Just say it. He gets like so fed up so quick. Out of curiosity, have you guys seen Gravity Falls at all?
I've only
Keep
seen
clear.
bits and pieces.
Katrina, have you?
Oh, I remember this scene.
Katrina, have you seen Gravity Falls?
A little bit.
Alex Hirsch, the creator, was initially going to help work on this movie as a scriptwriter.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, the
Gengar.
Gengar.
He ended up leaving to work on other things before he did anything for the script, but he was initially going to be a writer for the movie. It's like Pokemon Stadium, the announcers.
You see, that's the one thing about Rhyme City is I wouldn't like the fact that, you're not allowed to do Pokemon battles.
No, I mean the whole point of the city is it's supposed to be like the one place in the world where it's peaceful. You don't have to battle.
Yeah, but in other places you can also choose whether or not you want to battle.
Let's see this guy's internet search history. Oh, so you know at the start of the movie where they do like the Rhyme City montage when there was like a Japanese dude in like Red's outfit? That's the Japanese voice that dubs Tim in the Japanese version. So he was already in the movie beforehand. Blastoise, no.
And then he realizes.
I remember this scene from the trailer. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, he has the R. What makes you think it was I know you probably haven't, Katrina. Lucas, have you seen The Boys?
I have not.
There's like a compound in that show called Compound V, which basically like ups metahuman superpowers, but then also can just give normal people superpowers. So it kind of reminds me of this because it makes the Pokemon more aggressive, stronger, stuff like that. That doesn't remember. Was like, there's cursing in this Pokemon movie? Get me the hell out of here. So apparently for this movie, the first Detective Pikachu game is the only one out, and so when the movie came out, they had to come up with their own ending because the game wanted to be 2 parts. So the movie creators had to come up with their own ending for the story rather than follow the game, because Detective Pikachu 2 hadn't come out yet. That's when the movie did. Yeah, go for the flame on the tail. I like the small things in the movie. Like he goes for the flame on the tail because once that flame, as the flame goes out, it gets weaker.
Yep.
That delivery. Ow. He reminds me of DJ from Last Jedi.
Uh-oh.
What was that sound? He made the same noise Pokemon make. Ah!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yep. Uh-oh is right.
Oh, not the Magikarp 2.
The Magikarp
Yes, the Magikarp. Die.
Yeah, the Pangoro.
Uh-oh, the Slacking is angry. Golem? Or is that Graveler?
Yep. That's
No, there's a Graveler.
Yeah, that's Graveler.
Oh, apparently this dude is an actual DJ, the runner of the club.
Huh.
He's an actual DJ called Diplo.
Uh-oh.
It evolved. How it evolved, who knows, but it evolved.
I don't float.
The immediate cutoff. I don't float. Grr.
Yep.
Also, apparently, that's one thing that's random going through this. When the Charizard cowered, that's because Gyarados' first natural move it learns when evolving is Intimidate. So that's why the Charizard cowered.
Why is there just a random camera watching a random overpass?
Who knows? Movie convenience.
Yes. Classic tragic backstory time.
Yep.
Still hasn't given his hat back.
Ken Watanabe. That's the actor name for the captain. I couldn't think of it. He was in he and Justin Smith were in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and the second Jurassic World movie, which is the other Justin Smith movie I couldn't think of. I knew I was missing one. It was Jurassic World. It's my least favorite Jurassic World, least favorite Jurassic Park movie. I hate Fallen Kingdom. I'd rather watch Jurassic Park 3. But you know what?
Fair enough.
Justin Smith was in there.
That was another curse word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess it was a little bit for a PG movie.
Well, it is Ron Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds actually took this role because he wanted to work on something for his kids to watch because he normally does like R-rated movies.
Like Deadpool.
Deadpool, Blade, he was in as well. People forget. Even like some of his comedy stuff is still R-rated. Like what's it called?
And he finally returns the hat.
What was that other movie called? Van Wilder. That's what I was thinking of. That's like another comedy movie he was in that was rated R, I believe.
Oh.
At the very least, it's not kid friendly.
Indescript black car. Who's Blondie supposed to be?
Evie?
Oh, yeah, it's an Eevee.
Actually, I was thinking about Eevee's my favorite. Specifically Jolteon, but Eevee.
Yeah, look at all
Or no,
those
not-
stone.
Not Jolteon, Vaporeon is my favorite Eevee
Look at all
evolution.
those stone things.
Yeah, yep, see the legendaries?
Yeah.
Those are the, are those the Sword and Shield legendaries, or is this a different game? No, that's Diamond and Pearl legendaries.
Yeah. Flareon.
Flareon. Why bother hiding him in shadow? We've seen him like twice before in the movie. That's very twisty.
Giovanni?
Kinda, I guess it would be Giovanni. If you want to like placehold him. What game did Giovanni come back in after Red and Blue? Didn't he like come back at some point? And he was like a side boss you could find?
He came back in Sun and Moon.
I thought there was something earlier where he ended up being like a little side boss you could find.
Yeah, there was one
I can't remember what it is now.
in the Johto region.
I know Cynthia was a returning secret battle in a later Pokemon game.
You started waving at me. I was like,
Oh no, I was doing this.
Uh-oh.
I'm only using it for trivia anyway. But oh no, I wasn't using it for trivia. I need it for my class, which started like 40 minutes ago. Michi looks so scary. I feel like this is when video game movies started to like get better. Was this? Because this was 2019, I believe.
he's being followed.
Is that another slacking?
Yeah, that's real subtle. Put it in the middle of the walkway. You no chance. It sounds like a waste of coffee.
Yeah, that line.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
He said he just peed a little.
You repeat it.
I didn't know if he catched it.
Catched.
Caught it. I don't do grammar sometimes.
I'm gonna love editing this, coming back to my gargling later. On your goal, I didn't realize how tiny the car was. That's literally a go-kart.
Yeah.
That's a smart car for you.
Or, a Prius, but, I feel like a Prius is even bigger than that. Responsible decision making? What is she doing? As she's breaking into a government lab.
And of course the camera.
Yep.
Still works.
Also, I'm kind of going a bit more trivia before my tablet dies on me. You know how they had Cubone at the start of the movie and they were looking for him in that little plane area?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was in tall grass. Where do you find Pokemon the most in Pokemon games?
Tall grass.
You didn't notice that it was a tall grass when they decided to hide behind the grass?
I didn't note it as a detail. Then I'm reading it and it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty obvious now that I think about it. What? Not a word everybody knows. Okay. One thing I can do without going through the napkin super quick is just shove pieces of it up my nose.
This legit looks like a... My first thought when I saw the movie for the first time was this looks like a space station.
Goes from Pokemon to aliens. It's game over, man. It's game over.
Wait, so how long have those Pokemon been stuck in there?
Probably a while.
Torterra?
Yep. Good guess.
Oh, I always love the grass-style starters.
The only time I chose grass is in Violet, just because I thought the duck, that's the water type starter this time around, I thought it was ugly. So I chose the grass cat.
Quaxley.
Quaxley, yeah. I have a hard time remembering new Pokemon's names.
The grass cat isn't Quaxley.
No, he's talking about Quaxley as the water type duck. I said it was ugly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, the cat is Quaxley. Katrina, I couldn't figure out the difference between that. It's a pun name, sure.
Yeah, the fire one.
Sprigatito.
Yep, Sprigatito. And then we have Fuecoco.
I love Rikoko. He's awesome.
Also, that train in earlier is supposed to be red.
And the moment they touch a button, the camera inside turns on. Yeah, just like a horror scene.
It's a very, very real look at like people being trapped with Pokemon. It's like, what can you do? Ah, yes, Pixels cameo. We can probably watch that movie eventually too. So like this like highly volatile drug came from testing on Mewtwo.
She didn't survive that.
Nope.
Too many shards.
I mean, no one came to talk about it, so I assume no one survived.
Yeah, but the fact there's no bodies in the room at all.
I think it's supposed to mean that Mewtwo disintegrated all of them. Immediately sounds like the music fades out.
Up.
I didn't know Greninjas had tongues like that. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, they
their
are
tongue
frog.
is their scarf.
is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
The scarf for Greninja is their tongue.
I didn't know that.
How did you not know that?
I told you I'm not a massive Pokemon fan.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was just like a design choice, like an actual scarf.
No.
It's like most of my knowledge is like Gen 1, maybe
the
Gen 2
Torterra.
stuff. Greninja's Gen 6.
Wait, so those Torterra just walked out the back?
Something like that.
Also, why are they attacking them when they could just be running free?
I assume because they're like hostile because of the experiments. Like they're more aggressive.
But they choose to attack the people instead of the Torterra? Even if they were at an elemental disadvantage?
Maybe they're just associating them with like the scientists working on them because they're human.
Psychic.
Yeah. Didn't you know that a Psyduck's headache is one of the most powerful forces you could harness?
Until it gets so bad that it just starts hurting everyone around it.
Stampede, watch out.
Not quite.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
That's why when he says it's got the back door, I go, something like that. I love how he like tries to give like a sensible explanation. Like one tree falls over, it's real, run. I'm not misremembering this, right? This is another tear or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It seems more like an apocalypse event.
I guess something you see in a
You'll
Mad
see.
Max movie.
You'll see what it is in a minute.
She was not worried. You see her face? She didn't have a worried expression at all. She just stands there going, Tim. Like her expression did not change.
Mudslide.
That's a great fifth option. That's gonna like kill you.
Yeah. It at least hurt a lot more than what it looked like. Reggie Rock?
No, it's a giant Torterra. Completely massive Torterra.
That's what I thought it was, but then we weren't like seeing much of what was underneath. I was like, am I remembering this wrong?
No.
The Terra Garden?
Torterra Garden.
Close enough.
Oh, I thought it just straight up like hit him in the jaw.
No, it hit him in the gut.
Just a pebble to the gut. Oh, they get up and just decide to lay back down.
Well, yeah, because Psyduck's psychic wave woke him up.
I mean, you would wake up if someone came into your bedroom and started screaming.
Yeah.
Main character dies.
Eh.
I remember Tim getting hurt in this section, not Pikachu.
Bulbasaur.
Kind of like looks around and wanders like an ant, like just like a wild animal.
And this is when the Bulbasaur come in clutch. Yeah, Bulbasaur convergence.
The Bulba Squad.
They're like, no, only him. He's the one who respected us and thought of us as intelligent. You thought we couldn't understand.
Yeah, stay back there, judgmental bitch.
Oh, more lol.
See, these are the Pokemon you see when you do ecstasy.
The magic mushroom Pokemon.
I mean, technically, yeah. They steal the energy from passing trainers and then they in order to evolve.
And now they're just riding on the Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Using their root-like feet, they absorb energy in order to help them evolve. Oh, hey.
Loetta. It's a plot stone.
No.
You just gets the sword in the stone, just stabs him, puts it down. You can lift the sword from the Pikachu. Mewtwo does care about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Mewtwo just hates humans. Yeah, he starts going on a thing where it's like Pokemon are better.
That's not Magnemite.
No, it's not. If you start the movie, I'm on Tim's shirt. He always has some kind of version of Unknown. So every time he changes shirt, it's just a different shirt showing a different letter of Unknown.
You mean unknown?
I assumed it's pronounced Unknown because it wasn't spelled like unknown. I like how they even still made it come from the cheeks as well. Because all the cheeks are just like little sacks of electricity. Where have you been? Giant inflatable balloons. People in Snorlax costumes.
Yeah. And the workers with Bulbasaurs are in Bulbasaur colors.
Trico.
Look at the wide ass hips for the Snorlax
Maybe they're ninja.
costumes. Yeah, it's
I mean,
Blastoise.
that's pretty accurate.
Stay in the car. I'll come back for you in an hour.
Remember that. Remember her asking him to stay in the car.
Wow.
She made up the story about being a reporter. That was Cynthia?
Must have been a different Cynthia.
He's singing the song. Pokemon fans when Ash retired. So where's the car? The little headbands they're using, hoping to use to control the Pokemon. It's the same ones they use in Pokken. I love how Mewtwo's voice. He never opens his mouth. He just does it secondly. But when Howard's in there, he is speaking with his mouth. Another Trico in the back. Headband even flashes when he's talking. Just that phrasing is giving me Mario PTSD flashbacks. We gotta merge the worlds. Monkey.
A little too late, isn't it?
So that as the cloud's been brought down. He's dead. He was not playing with guard at all. He's dead.
You're a little late.
You were told to stay in the car. He was told to stay in the car, and he did not.
When does Psyduck ever listen?
Exactly. I was saying Psyduck is stupid. Purple gas coming again, Gar. What else is new? He's going back.
Oh, yeah.
He's going back to his ghastly days.
Launching himself.
I actually missed the Pokemon Parade stage in Smash. We didn't get it back in Ultimate.
It wasn't really all that great of a stage.
It was a unique stage though. It's like one of the only ones that didn't come back. Lecture Ball.
Pikachu used self-destruct.
Like when the Pokemon are fighting, they're all really cool action scenes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah?
They really got the essence of what a Pokemon
we didn't get
fight
a lot
is.
of Pokemon versus Pokemon battles in this movie. It was all just like the humans running from Pokemon.
Knock it off. Knock it off of him.
I mean, his mind is already gone, right?
Well, considering that there's still seems to be a connection between the two.
That's the sun that he was saying was behind it.
Ditto.
That's why she had pink gloves. And dear God, that's creepy.
That's why they were always wearing
With the
sunglasses.
Yeah. I remembered that. I remembered the ditto.
Huh.
With the black guys, it reminds me of like the other mother from Coraline. That's such a dumb line. Oh God, that's creepy. That head tilt really makes me think of Coraline. I have no guilt. Amelia gets decked. You breathed the gas, didn't you? I mean, that's got to be terrifying.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Ditto are so annoying.
Machamp time. That was a low blow.
And it's
Oh, not the
Cubone again.
Cubone.
Just Cubone. It's a damn little bone. It's always the damn Cubone.
Yeah, I love the animation for Volt Tackle.
It's so good.
And then recoil damage.
Yeah, so I was going to bring up the little tackle has the recoil.
Yes, I love that squeal.
It's like a little kid trying to do the original Crate Dragon sound from New Hope. Dude did not move at all. Hey, Tauros.
No, Buffamoo. Or Buffamoo. I can't recall.
Bouffalant.
You think that's going to help you?
Yeah, it loses control of its ability to shapeshift.
It goes fully wild.
Apparently just kills it.
And apparently Ditto is the failed Mewtwo experimentation.
I could almost feel bad for him. Like, his intentions were, like, pretty good. Like, they're saying, you know, we won't ever, like, get sick like that. We can evolve whenever we need to. It's like he's stuck to a wheelchair. So, he had decent intentions for what he was doing.
Huh? I will undo what has been done.
That's a lot of air in those balloons.
Why would Mewtwo care, though? I mean, he still hates humans.
Yeah, but all the Pokemon are now possessed by humans. So all he loves are possessed by what he hates.
Yeah, but they're still Pokemon. The Pokemon mines are still in there.
Well, considering there's a 20-year gap between the fact that...
Between Mewtwo from Pokemon Red to now.
Yeah, so a lot could have happened with Mewtwo's mind state.
Because Mewtwo doesn't necessarily hate humans in the anime, but that's because of Ash. There wasn't any of that in Pokemon Red or Blue.
I mean, Red did eventually catch Mewtwo.
I feel a little less bad about the dad because he threw his son under the bus, or tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still acknowledge his reasonings were at least decent though.
Hope we never get to see each other again. Yep, the very first merged human and Pokemon.
The merge had to start somewhere, Lucas. My only complaint is he's been with this so long. How did he not recognize his dad's voice? I know he hasn't been with him a while, but I feel like he would still know his dad's voice.
Well, it's kind of implied that the fact that he breathed in the R is what allows him to understand him. So it's more like
Well, I'm not questioning why he understands him. I'm questioning why doesn't he recognize his dad's voice?
Because it's not actually his dad's voice. It's this Pika, Pika, Pika getting translated into a voice.
Into his dad's voice.
So his dad's white?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you see
He's a mixed race.
Yeah, when you say his mom is black and his father is Ryan Reynolds. So I understand he wasn't with his dad for a lot of his life, but I feel like he would still recognize his dad's voice.
That's a maybe.
Yeah, that's a definite maybe. Because you have to think about the logistics of the fact that it's not really his voice.
It is, though. It's Ryan Reynolds is straight up his dad, so it'd be his voice. I get he wasn't with his dad for a while, but he left his dad when he was 11 after his mom died. He would absolutely remember his own father's voice. So why 10 years later does he not remember his dad's voice when he's talking to Pikachu?
Well, why can he only understand Pikachu?
You just explained it because of the R.
Yes, but that doesn't explain why he can't understand the other Pokemon.
Because the other Pikachu's the only one directly merged by R.
Well, actually, Pikachu and his dad was merged without the R.
They were merged by Mewtwo, but Pikachu was not crazy.
Mewtwo was... The R was taken from, and at that time, Mewtwo still had R in him. The R mixed with Mewtwo's power is what merged them, which is why when Howard took over Mewtwo and started merging them with the R, both are present, and that's how they merged. One without the other won't do the merging.
Mm.
But that's still neither here nor there. Why doesn't he recognize his dad's voice? You guys don't give me a proper answer to that question. You keep diverting it into other questions.
When your father's voice comes from someone that's not your father, most people don't assume that's actually your father.
But it's still a voice.
Well, yes, there's multiple people
that
share the same voice.
Have you ever been in a crowded area and you think you hear someone that you recognize, someone's voice that you recognize, but then you look and it's like, oh, that's not who I thought it was?
No.
It's like that.
Squirtle Squad.
what he's seeing and what his brain is interpreting visually doesn't line up with what his ears are interpreting.
I'm just saying, if I heard my dad's voice come from a Pokemon, I'm gonna be like, why is my dad's voice coming from this Pokemon?
Yeah, but would you think, oh, that must be my dad in the
That's
Pokemon's body?
That's not gonna be my first thought, but at no point does Tim recognize that voice as his father's voice. He doesn't even stop to question, like, do I know that voice? At no point does he do that.
Yeah, because he's kind of like in a constant state of hysteria, and it's one drama after another.
I get hearing a Pokemon talk at first is going to be something like something different, but he's with his Pikachu for like maybe about a solid week. Let's say that time frame. At no point does he sit down and think, I might recognize this voice.
Yeah, because he's had other stuff to worry about. First, it was the APOM. Then it was the case.
I'm not getting anyone on my side for this, am I?
Then the Charizard.
No.
I still stand by he should have recognized the voice sooner.
And I can understand completely not remembering the voice of someone you haven't seen in 10 years, and when it's coming from someone that's not the person you think it would be.
But his whole reason for being in Rhyme City was his dad. I feel like his dad will be at the forefront of his memory, therefore his looks, voice, and other things like that. But at no point does it come to him.
Well, apparently the only reason he was there was really to clean out his father's stuff, not really actually go to try and find him.
But he's still at the forefront of his mind, though. I do love how the credits are playing the Pokemon theme. Not for the cartoon, but like the game main theme.
Yeah.
I like how when it gets like the art style of it all, too.
Yeah. The art style very much does remind me of the days that I would go check out the Pokemon manga.
Pokemon manga is much darker than anything else.
Oh, it is. I remember reading it, and it's like Poliwrath almost straight up dies after being stabbed. It's like,
Arbok does die after being cut in half by a Scyther.
yeah, like manga doesn't mind holding back a bit.
Yeah.
Zombie Psyduck.
I don't remember Zombie Side. I only remember like reading some of it. It's like it wasn't red. I don't think it was red because the dude's main Pokemon was a Poliwrath.
In one of the series, the people are straight up possessed by the legendaries.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't know that series.
We can kind of argue more semantics.
The Hoenn series.
I haven't really read any of the manga myself. Most of what I've seen are just snippets from little clips other people have done for reviews.
I've read a little bit of it in elementary school. So yeah, that was Detective Pikachu. As a first-time watcher, Lucas, what are your thoughts?
I quite enjoyed it. It's not very often. Most of the time when I've seen Pokemon in live actions type stuff is usually haunting pictures, like seeing a Gengar in a dark room, and all you can really see are the glowing eyes.
I mean, that's part of it, though. It's a psychic and dark type, right?
No, it's
Ghost and Dark.
Ghost and Dark. That's what it was. Ghost.
Ghost and Poison.
Yeah, that's
Ghost and Poison.
Well, it's still a ghost type. It's meant to be like Hauntly, or in its own self-explanatory name, Ghastly. But I like all the designs on this movie. I feel like all of them did like a really good job, and like none of them felt like overly cartoony, except maybe Mr. Mime.
I also like the fact that they tried to keep the Pokemon sizes to their Pokedex entries. Like Joltik was naturally a very tiny Pokemon.
Yeah, and everyone thinks Charizard is this massive dragon. No, he's about as tall as a normal person.
Yeah, he's a little bit taller than a normal person.
It's like he's barely taller than Ash. At least Ash's Charizard is barely taller than Ash.
Yeah.
Ash's Charizard is.
I did like how.
The entire thing is that he's a little bit smaller than the rest of the species, but he's smarter and stronger because he's been trained.
Meanwhile, Charizard still cooked Ash out of the final fight in the original region.
Well, no, I'm talking about how when he went to Charizard Valley.
I don't remember that.
In the Johto region, when he ended up leaving Charizard with Charla.
I haven't watched all of Pokemon. Like we talked about this before, and all I remember is that Charizard refused to let Ash win to get that final badge there, and that's what lost Ash the match.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the champ? It was the championship.
It was the championship. Charizard
And
just didn't
also-
fight.
Yeah, the Pokemon Indigo
Also,
League.
his Pokemon were already tired because they had to escape from Team Rocket's machinations.
Also, Charizard just didn't care. Charizard does not respect Ash's authority.
He did not respect the fact
No.
that Ash had all the badges.
He was like, "You want me to fight the devolved version of myself? This is not something that I want to do."
And it's like the Pokédex entry is that Charizards are normally supposed to like when they respect something, they deeply respect it. Charizard did not respect Ash at all.
No.
The only time,
But he did later.
only when Ash actually saved
In
his
Orange
life.
Islands.
Not when it counted. he needed him. He needed him right there.
Yeah,
And
because
Charizard said no.
to be fair, I think that Ash sort of needed that loss because it helped him develop his character a little bit. If he would have won his first ever league tournament or gotten in like farther than he actually did, it would have given him a little bit of an ego more than he already had. But because he lost when he did, it kind of humbled him.
All right. Well, I really should get back to the movie a bit. Anytime we talk about the games, we end up starting trailing off. I don't want to spend another 45 minutes talking about, especially Pokemon stuff that doesn't matter right now.
No, but if I remember correctly, the first time Ash did win, when his mother got a hold of it, she just used it as a training weight.
The badge.
No, the actual Pokemon League trophy.
Oh,
She was using a Pokemon League trophy as a training weight. Just because she couldn't find her other one.
Yeah.
but son, this thing that you spent 30 years or something trying to get. Yeah, I'm just gonna use it as a paperweight.
Oh, it wasn't just a paperweight.
But so about the rest of the movie, you said you liked it. What are some parts in particular that stuck out to you?
Well, when it showed literally Charizard backing down when the Gyarados evolved from the Magikarp.
Yeah. If you'd have asked me before, I would have said it's because it's the water type, and isn't water type good against fire?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
water type is super effective, but it's more about the fact that when Magikarp first
Well,
evolved,
it's Intimidate. Yeah, I saw that in the movie trivia thing. I was like, oh, I guess that is fair fact. But if you'd asked me before, I'd be like, oh yeah, because it's a water type. It's a water type that's 3 times the size of Charizard.
it's actually because when they first evolved, they can't snap themselves out of a rage. They're in a rage when they evolve.
Which is why Intimidate comes in when they first evolve. The first natural move is Intimidate.
I can't
Yeah.
float.
So you've seen this a lot, so it's not as much for you. So for me, as someone who's only seen it once before, I definitely feel like I enjoyed it a bit more this time, especially with more knowledge of Pokemon than I have now.
Yeah.
It's a fun little watch. I feel like this was what started to get video game movies on the upwards ramp up.
Yeah.
We still had some pitfalls here and there, Halo, but for the most part, game adaptations have started getting pretty good, and I think we have Detective Pikachu to thank.
Yep.
So what was your favorite scene then, Lucas?
Probably gotta be the Mr. Mime.
The Mr. Mime scene is great. Apparently, it's supposed to be based off the interrogation
Yes.
scene from 7, just done a little more goofy.
I've actually never seen 7.
I don't think it's something we can watch for the movie commentaries, at least not yet. But that's a very, very good movie. But the Mr. Mime scene is pretty good. That's probably the funniest scene in the movie because it's all done for the gag. They actually got actual mimes to come in and do mocap for Mr. Mime and do the techniques and all that.
Well, the fact that Mr. Mime was even going with what someone else was trying to mime out.
Yeah, because
Mr. Mime just wants
that's
to have
their
fun.
life. That's what they do.
Mr. Mime just wants to have fun. Now that makes me question. That they had him trapped in the box, and then Tim was gonna light it up on fire after pouring in the gasoline. What would have happened if Tim actually would have lit it on fire?
Well, that's just it. At the very end,
Well,
you see that he literally
dropped.
does drop the match, and
He
everyone
dropped the
and
match.
the Mr. Mime just. You completely missed that part, didn't you?
I think I was talking over it or something.
Yeah, you were.
Like
You
literally,
missed
you can
the
hear
best part.
you can hear the
Mr.
flare up of
Mime
the
was
fire.
like,
As a matter of fact, us two were arguing about recognizing his dad's voice. We missed the fact that Tim said he wanted to be a detective at the end. That's how the movie closed out. It's like he was going to go back to his small town. He's staying in Rhyme City to be a detective with his dad now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that.
We talked over that because I was too busy arguing. Why wouldn't he recognize his dad's voice? Which he should. So, Katrina, what about you? After seeing it for 20th time now, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
I'd have to say there's just so many good ones.
There are a bunch of good ones. Do you want to list off mine while you try and figure yours out?
I'd have to say one of them is that scene where he's holding on to the Charizard's tail and
Yeah, he's flying around.
yeah.
I like how smart, like he knows his Pokemon stuff, just he didn't want to be part of it anymore because it's like that's all associated with memories of his dad and his mom.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a Pokemon trainer or anything like that.
Yeah.
He goes in I didn't need a Pikachu bed. I feel so flattered and creeped out at the same time. I feel like if I had to choose,
Yeah, and also the scene with all the cups everywhere.
and he's trying to find one that still has coffee.
Yeah, when he finds one that has coffee, you can see his expression.
He goes, ooh.
Ooh,
And he just drinks it.
He
Yeah,
immediately
cold
lights up.
It's great. If I had to pick a couple of favorite scenes, I'd probably just say when he first finds Pikachu in the apartment, he threatens him with a stapler. Then the lab scene with the Greninja. And then probably the fight between Pikachu and Mewtwo.
Although, now that I think about it, when Pikachu got back to the scene of the crash, he found a Greninja star. But aren't Greninja stars just simply made out of water?
You're asking the wrong person, dude.
Technically, they are. They have these things on the side of their legs that are shaped like the ninja star, and that's where they come from.
Kind of like scales.
Yeah, that's where the ninja stars come from, is they pool their power around those ninja star-shaped things on the side of their legs, and they throw the stars.
Huh.
Normally in the anime, it isn't shown what that there's anything left over, so it's implied that it's just pure water energy.
I feel like they just need an excuse for to give Pikachu that flashback scene where something clicks. Like the one detail that leads me to go down the rabbit hole of there was this, which eventually brings him down the line to the hologram. Howard could have shown them whatever he wanted. He's with the phrasing, he goes, "Oh, Tim," and that's what leads me to go back to Rhyme City. They just needed something to kick off that little scene.
Yeah, because normally there isn't anything left when they use the water shuriken. That's what it's called, is water shuriken.
No, I think the movie did a great job of bringing all the different Pokemon to life. They got actually a fan artist to do it. They looked at a bunch of realistic Pokemon art, and the dude R.J. Palmer had some of the best ones they've seen. So they just hired him on. It's like, hey, do some concept art for us.
Yeah, when a fan can get to do what they've already been doing and get paid to do what they did for free.
And yeah, he did it good. I think most of the Pokemon, if not all, looked good in this movie.
Yeah, that other fandoms need to take notes. If you want to get a good idea for realistic concepts on video games, ask your fans.
Well, I feel like just in general, if you're adapting something, not even just video games, if you're adapting something, get fan input. That's what the Sonic did. The Sonic movies are made by people who are fans.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not casting just major actors and everything they do. They're casting people, actors who care about the role, 2 actors who can play it well. So Jim Carrey, he did it for his daughter, but then he hammered it home with Eggman. Ben Schwartz is a Sonic fan. James Marsden is a Sonic fan. Idris Elba is a Sonic fan. That's why he voices Knuckles in Sonic 2.
Did you already do a commentary for the Sonic 2 yet, or?
Nope, that'll be one of our next ones. I think we'll do Star Wars and we'll do Sonic 2. But it's important to have involve fans. Sonic did it pretty well. Then you have something like the Halo. I keep bringing this up. The Halo series.
Yeah,
creators said they weren't even looking at the games.
When you're making something based off of a video game, you need to have fan input because these are the people who have been imagining these situations for years and writing content, drawing content based off of these theories.
I don't even just mean like games either. Like look at Star Wars. Dave Filoni, who did Clone Wars Rebels, he was an obsessive Star Wars fan. And he got to make what I consider some of the best Star Wars with Clone Wars, Rebels, now Mandalorian, all that.
Yeah.
Hell, his Star Wars movie, he's finally going to do a movie. His Star Wars movie is going to be what caps off all the share like live action shows like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, stuff like that.
The people who are most invested in seeing these movies succeed are the fans.
This is why I'm a big reader of fan fiction. So many good stories that could actually do pretty well if made into an actual animated series.
Don't get me wrong. The good fan fiction stuff is a dime a dozen. You're gonna have a hard time finding actual good ones, but when you find them, you can see that the fans care.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That is why I'm putting myself a little bit of blast here. That is why I do it. Hell, I will message you guys mine later. but I write like stuff like that in my free time and put it out there because I care about those franchises. I want to put like my own story concepts out there.
By the way, who did you say your favorite Eevee evolution was?
Vaporeon.
You're gonna have a lot of comments once this video goes on YouTube.
Like anyone actually watches what we do.
You'd be surprised. There's always someone out there looking for the small stuff.
We should also ask if you do know all the evolutions.
Evolutions.
Yeah.
I only remember.
Do you have a favorite one?
Well, I do love the original Eevee. I guess if it has to be an evolved form, it'd probably have to be Leafeon.
I only ever remember Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. And my favorite is Vaporeon.
Well, Umbreon is the dark type.
Okay, I remember Umbreon, yeah.
Espeon's the psychic type.
Shiny Umbreon. That is my favorite.
I mean, those are just cats, though. It basically just finishes turning Eevee into a cat.
Glowing circles.
Vaporeon.
And then let's see.
I have a water type bias, but Vaporeon.
Sylveon, I believe, is the fairy type.
Yeah.
Glaceon's the ice type. Leafeon's the grass
I know
type.
it's a little controversial, but I actually like the shiny version of Sylveon.
I don't know what Sylveon looks like. I don't know what the shiny difference is.
Just think of Eevee with very fairy aesthetic, without no wings, pink and white.
Yeah, I think I remember it now.
Yeah.
But
the one with all the bows and ribbons.
It makes you wonder when they're going to come out with the other elements of the evolutions. Because
they've been asking for that for years.
Because what are they going to make the flying type?
They've still yet to create a flying type. Or even a dragon type. To go with the fact that they've made a fairy type.
Guys.
They don't have a rock or ground type.
No.
Guys, movie.
Hey, it's Eevee. Everyone loves Eevee.
So I have to ask, because Katrina and I definitely like the performance. What did you think of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu? It turned out to be his dad.
Ryan Reynolds is becoming one of my favorite, or has already been one of my favorite actors.
But what do you think of him as Pikachu in particular?
It was a surprise when I first heard about it.
It was a surprise. How everyone's reacting to Chris Pratt as Mario now is exactly how they reacted to Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like the first trailer when it's like you see all like the good Pokemon stuff, like everything like design was looking so well when the first trailer came out. And then the Pikachu opened his mouth, and that's when people are like, this movie's gonna suck. And you know what? It saved video game movies. Bite me.
Yeah, I think what people were mostly saying was that they were too worried that Ryan Reynolds would be too much like Deadpool when he played Pikachu.
And it kind of has that same kind of chaotic energy, I guess.
Yeah.
But Deadpool's a far cry from Pikachu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Deadpool's a far cry from any other role Ryan Reynolds does. The closest I've seen get to Deadpool is him. The closest I've seen Ryan Reynolds get to Deadpool and anything else is in Hitman's Bodyguard.
Well, there was also the fact that he played before Deadpool in the Wolverine movie, but
we don't count that. We don't ever count that. Don't you dare utter that name again.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds doesn't want anyone to remember that movie either.
Yeah, they literally took a Deadpool 2 after credits scene to shoot him in the face. And then shoot Ryan Reynolds for doing Green Lantern. I love Green Lantern, by the way. I'll say I love Green Lantern. I don't care what anybody says. Green Lantern was a pretty good comic book movie.
I think that was another one Ryan Reynolds wasn't a big fan of.
Oh, he wasn't. He hated the script. He still had to do it anyway. I loved Green Lantern. I liked Green Lantern. It's a good movie. I don't care what anyone, even Ryan Reynolds, says.
Much like I believe Jim Carrey didn't like his role in, what was it, Kick-Ass 2?
Jim Carrey was in Kick-Ass 2. I haven't seen Kick-Ass 2. I've only seen Kick-Ass 1.
Yeah, I think he was in 2, and he didn't like his role there.
I'll have to sit down and watch this on Netflix right now. But for the rest of this movie, like anything else like you guys would like bring up or talk about this movie that we haven't kind of like gone over already?
I think the Torterra scene with the giant Torterra was a little bit unnecessary.
It was a spectacle, but they just needed a reason for Pikachu to get injured, which they could have done with the Greninja.
Yeah, they could have had the Greninja catch up to them. They didn't need a giant, or even have him like suddenly use his electric powers and drain himself dry.
Yeah, like they've done that in the anime a few times.
They've done it. They did it as a spectacle. You know what? It's a good spectacle, but get rid of that scene. You can shave a like solid 5 to 6 minutes off the movie runtime.
But yeah, it doesn't really make much sense as to how Pikachu got that injured when he literally took a pebble to the gut.
And literally, there is no explanation for why those Torterra are like that in the first place.
I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's cool. I think it's like a nice visual. It's like just to show you like the scale of like what Pokemon can be.
Yeah, but that was almost similar to the size of what Regirock is supposed to be.
That is almost to what it would be like if Torterra was Gigantamaxed.
Maybe that's just what they did. Like, it is an unnecessary scene, but it was cool to see in the movie.
I would have, how many
This
scenes
was
did they have
before
near water?
Gigantamax was a thing.
Near water, I think it was just after the Torterra scene. I don't think anything else took place near water.
Like I would have liked to seen what they've done for an actual whale lord.
Or like Whalmer. We didn't see like many water types besides like Squirtle.
Squirtle, Totodile,
Gyarados.
Gyarados, I guess we had that as well.
I'm still curious as to why they categorize Gyarados as a water flying type.
Because he's, I don't know, same reason like Dragonite isn't a dragon type.
No, Dragonite is a dragon type.
No, remember, am I thinking of something different?
Charizard's not a dragon type.
Yeah, Charizard's not a dragon type. Why?
And yet one of his one of his
Mega Evolutions.
becomes dragon type.
Yeah, Charizard himself isn't one.
Yeah.
Because he's technically a dinosaur.
So, he looks like a dragon. Make him dragon type.
I think they were trying to be clever.
What about you, Lucas? Anything else in the movie you kind of want to discuss?
Not really.
Nothing else that like stands out to you?
Well, I saw what looked like posters for and figurines for what looked like the legendary types, but never really showed.
And Tim's room, he has a couple. There's a list I pulled up on my tablet's dead. It was like there was like Rayquaza.
I saw that.
I believe the second generation legendaries.
Entei, Ryoko, and Suicune.
And in his flashbacks, you could see above his bed he had Latias and Latios.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
I missed that.
But then in Howard's office, he has the statues of the Diamond and Pearl legendaries on like either side of his desk.
Dialga and Palkia.
Yeah, and he has Arceus in
and
the
actually,
middle.
I believe they're in the exact same pose from the covers of those games.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
I believe mirror flipped though. I believe they're on opposite sides of like directions they're facing, but they're in the same poses.
Yeah. And Arceus is in the middle.
Oh, is that Arceus in the middle? Or Arceus?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter which way I say it. People are going to tell me I'm wrong either way, but Arceus.
Yeah, it was him in the middle.
It was more of a direct shot, and I don't really know from memory what he looks like anyway, so that's why I didn't recognize him. But I recognize the two on the side because of the covers of Diamond and Pearl.
And of all that, they didn't even get to show any of actual Mew.
Recognize the giant head.
No,
swoop.
they mentioned it, but yeah. They mentioned like the old dig site of Mew, but then said this is Mewtwo that was made a while back. We need to capture it again.
Yep. Well, it's said that they escaped 20 years ago, so it takes 20 years after at least
after at least Red and Blue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I doubt this is the anime universe because by then, Mewtwo would have been like more kind to humans. So that's why I think this is game universe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is game universe.
But if it was captured by Red, why'd Red let him go?
That's if it's canon that Red captures him. Like, yes, you can capture him as Red in the game. That doesn't mean that canonically Red captures him.
Well, I mean, there's also they made a animation for following Red's journey.
Yeah. They gave Red a short time anime. I've been trying to find a way to watch that, but
it's on YouTube.
Before close up, can we talk about how creepy the Ditto was? Like, I brought up how it looks like the other mother from Coraline. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I've actually never watched Coraline either.
That's in the pipeline now. We're watching Coraline. But it's like the small eyes look like the tiny buttons and like the shallow like eyeballs of the skull.
Yeah, it's actually, I like how they did that because that is one of the things that is very much true to canon. Is that the only thing that Ditto cannot change about itself? It can copy Pokemon.
Pokemon's looks and abilities, but it can't change the eyes.
Yeah, it can't change its eyes.
Except in the anime.
Because in the anime, it's useful, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the first time they introduced Ditto in the anime, Ditto has the same problem of not being able to change its eyes. But when threatened by Meowth, Jessie, and James, that's when it's able to actually change its facial expression.
Imagine it was just Eastern animate or something, I guess.
Yeah.
So anything else before you go and wrap this up? No?
No, I feel like it was more for him since he's the new.
Yeah, like you hadn't seen this movie before.
No.
And there was still some new experiences for me. There were parts I didn't remember. I'd only ever seen the movie once, so there are like things I noticed now that I didn't before. But you're the one that came with a kind of a fresh face.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks that no one will be next week unless we get someone in here to do Star Wars. Because we've all seen Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Star Wars.
I even might not be able to make it. So
it depends when we do it, but so that was Detective Pikachu. I'm glad we all kind of enjoyed it. If you were to give it, if you were to give it like a score to 5, what would it be, or out of 10?
Out of 10?
If you would do 5 or 10, whichever you want to do. I think we might start doing this as to how we enjoyed it. I give it a solid 8, 7 or an 8.
I actually give it a 9.
Lucas?
Yeah, kind of gotta give it an 8 myself.
It's a really good movie. There are problems with it, like we talked about the
some of the more unnecessary dramatics.
Yeah, and they could have had a little bit more variety in Pokemon. Like don't get me wrong, you rarely see the same Pokemon twice in terms of background characters,
unless it's one of the starters.
But in the entire movie, there's only ever 60 Pokemon.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is less than a generation.
Yeah.
But it still looked good. Everything looked good. It had a fairly well-paced story for basing off a game that it didn't even have a complete story.
I feel like the lack of variation was also due to some Pokemon are more rare than others.
Yeah, like most of the Pokemon you see are ones that people know. You get some a little more obscure ones, but
yeah, you get a little bit more of the commonly seen.
I feel like it balances.
Pokemon.
I feel like it balances drawing in someone who would be new, but also drawing in like veteran Pokemon fans as well.
Yeah, it does.
So that was Detective Pikachu. I feel like it started a great trend of making good video game movies.
Yes.
And I hope that trend continues. Because, dear God, we can only go up from the Mario movie.
Yes,
the original Mario
Hollywood,
movie.
please take notes from this movie.
Listen
Look
to the fan
your
base.
fans.
You know what? I would pay to see money for another to see Chris Pratt and Charlie Day redo the original Mario movie. Change nothing, just act it out as if they were Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. Replace all the original cast with the movie cast, the new movie cast. I would pay to see that. have Chris Pratt in a fat suit, and then they do the elevator shot. They show up in the overalls. Chris Pratt has a gigantic gut. Pull it back just Parks and Rec days.
The new Toad.
Oh yeah, new Toad having him Key is it Key or Peel from Key and Peele who does Toad?
The dancing.
Oh, the dancing. oh yeah. Imagine doing this scene with actual Goomba assets where they're sitting there, no arms, just waddling.
Goomba.
See, I don't think any of us have seen the new Mario. Maybe there will be a Twin Towers disintegration scene. Who knows? We missed it last time in the commentary.
Yes.
We talked about it in the podcast after we missed it during the commentary.
Yeah.
That did not age well.
No, it did not.
Oh. All right, well, that's our Detective Pikachu commentary. I've been your host, Gage Baker. Joining me today has been Lucas and Katrina. Just laughing now. Okay, I feel like we've kind of like set ourselves up for failure now. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.